This is Underground Connections, an inside look at the underground music scene. Our guest for this episode is Luis Miranda. Luis is a Spanish-born, Los Angeles-based DJ producer with a very thorough knowledge of electronic music history, who has signed tracks to labels like Tronic, Octopus, and Unrelease. We discussed the role of a DJ, the revival of hardgroove techno, and what a really good gig looks like to him. Here we go. So you have a long electronic music history, having been exposed to a lot of genres like growing up, like acid house, EBM, hard trance, goa trance, among others. And since it's not so common to sit down with someone who has such a wide and deep knowledge of electronic music, I like to just rapid fire names of some older producers and see what you have to say about each one of them. If that's
fun.
So Gaetano Paricio.
Oh, great music, like a kind of a hard groovy late 90s, 2000 Italy.
Okay. Alexander Kowalski.
Yeah, same. I would say same era.
Era. Okay. What about Technasia?
Oh, well, Technasia is a classic. I used to follow a lot of Technasia productions, and then lately has this skew more into tech house, but it's a classic.
Yeah, I love a lot of like the
old school
older vinyl stuff that he put out. DJ Shufflemaster.
Not familiar.
Not familiar. Okay. What about Paul Mac?
Yeah, Paul Mac. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. I think he was very groovy. And I think he released in the Carcox label back in the day.
Okay, Intec.
Yeah, Intec.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay, nice. I think nowadays he's just doing mastering. So kind of sometimes producers they're like ready to close a chapter on DJing and producing.
Yeah.
Let's see. Vince Watson.
Vince Watson?
Yeah, I think he's an artist from Scotland. Kind of makes similar stuff.
No, not familiar with.
Okay, what about Brian Zentz?
Yeah, it sounds a bell, but I don't remember any song from him right now.
And lastly, you should know David Moleon.
Yeah, David Moleon. Okay. Yeah. I mean, he's great. He's been like a great hard groove producer back in the day, and I think right now he's getting back. And also is a very regular YouTuber right now. Like
right.
He's doing a lot of reviews of DJ sets.
Okay, cool.
And he's doing a lot, and also he's been producing again. He's playing in Halloween in Granada in a big party.
Okay,
I connect. I know David. I connect with him on Instagram. Yeah.
Okay. Have you met him in person?
No, not in person. We exchanged different messages with him, but he's a really great DJ.
Yeah, I've seen some of those tutorials on YouTube, like mentioning like how to play and make this sound and stuff. So it's cool when people like give back like that knowledge they've learned over the years.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
Nice.
Kind of on the note of Spanish artists, I got to go to Barcelona last year. I was just trying to like go around and as like a techno tourist and see like what the scene's like in different countries. So I had to pick between Barcelona and Madrid, and I went to Barcelona.
I'm from Madrid, but it's fine.
Yeah, next time we'll be in Madrid. Yeah. Have you been to some of the clubs in Barcelona as well?
Yeah. I've been in Barcelona several times in the Moog, Apollo, Razmataz.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I went to Input.
Yeah.
I went to Brunch in the Park.
Yeah.
And I went to one of the a newer room at Razmataz. It's called Human Club.
Okay.
And that was probably like my favorite experience.
And
there.
what DJs did you watch?
It was Marvin and Guy. They kind of play like Italo disco house, that
interesting
kind of stuff. Yeah.
It's good to be honest. It's always good to get out of your main genre, and get influence. And I mean, if you like electronic music, I think the more open is your head, the better, because different influence are gonna enrich your ideas.
Yeah, of course. And like sometimes it'll sneak into like your productions and like.
Absolutely.
Without even you knowing.
I think there's been a transition. Back in the day, people were very focus on, okay, if I'm techno, I'm only techno, and I don't give a shit about house, I don't give a shit about disco. But I think nowadays, because in the digital music world with Spotify and everything, everyone is have access to much more music, diverse, all genres. And in the past, you have to put your budget to buy music is limited. So you have to buy, okay, if I buy techno, I don't have more money to buy other music, you know. So I think for me that's one of the reasons. But I think being open, as you said, is great.
Yeah, and it's a great way to like set yourself apart from everyone else. If everyone's making the same thing, you just kind of like have a different angle to stick out from the crowd.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Can you explain what it's like, the electronic music scene in Madrid?
Yeah. Right now.
Yeah.
Well, I think right now is a combination of, I mean, there's a lot of techno and there's a lot of also like melodic house. And I think both are, and I think that there's a bit of tech house too. And those three genres, I think is pretty similar to other big cities in that sense, in terms of genres. In terms of clubbing, Madrid has a lot of heritage on having a lot of clubbing scene. We didn't do a lot of festivals. We didn't do raves. Raves in like here in a warehouse. Probably they do right now, but back in the day, it was more like clubbing scene. And I think in Europe has been more dominating the clubbing scene versus the warehouse party. Obviously, every city has warehouse parties, etc. Right? As I said, we have a lot of heritage. We have a big monthly party in Madrid. Techno is called Code, which is hosted in Fabric. Fabric is the biggest club in Madrid. It's huge, 5 different areas. Nice. And then there's still a lot of big clubs, small clubs, and things like that. It's a late party because we in Spain, we are late people. And we finish dinner probably at 11:30 or 12, go for the first drink, and we still party until 6 a.m. and then after hours. Right. You know, I used to play in after hours from 6 a.m. to 11 a.m. So, and still people were going, you know. So
How would you describe playing like an early morning set versus like
that was my question.
versus a late morning set?
Yeah, well, I think it's a matter a lot of like read the crowd, but most of the times people wants to get going. So so at the beginning, it's funny because at the beginning you have to start hard.
Right. Okay.
You know, progressively it's the opposite of a night set, because in a night set you start warming up, you know, and then you get more peak time in the middle of the night, and you usually end harder. But in an after hour, you have to continue moving people, and people are coming from the club, and they are in their high right now, and they want to continue moving. Right. So it's, obviously you have to read the crowd, but you're just gonna start giving hitters, and then probably depending on if the people continue partying or you feel that the energy is fading away, you change to something more trancey, more ambient,
more emotional.
Yeah, more emotional.
Okay,
yeah. So it's funny because it's the opposite dynamic. Yeah.
What's like the longest set you've ever played?
I think probably 7 hours.
7 hours.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Was that like an open to close thing or
open to close?
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah, open to close.
Where was that?
It was in Madrid.
Okay.
It was in Madrid in a club called El Amante. And I love to play open to close because also give you a lot of range, possibilities to play. Not only techno. Like I started even with playing house at the beginning, or more like a more serious tech house. Like a True Soul or those type of things. And then moving into different ranges of techno as well, So it allows you to experiment and create a trip that is different. That, I have a 2-hour set. This tonight is raw in hypnotic, so I'm going to move in between raw hypnotic. Yeah. But when you have a longer set, you have more possibilities. And I think that's the beauty is also continue tracking and reading the dance floor,
Of course.
and see. And I think that's obviously this is not a new conversation, but I think like nowadays is losing the art of. A lot of DJs are losing the art of reading the crowd, and it's like, okay, I have my slot. I don't care. The party is full of people. The club is full, so they're gonna dance whenever I play. And I don't think that's the case. You should always, even if it's the club is full and the party is full, you need to read. I think the visual contact with people, like, it's also what it fits you part of the energy that you get, seeing the faces, seeing them moving, seeing how they move, etc., etc. Obviously they project a lot with the vibe and with how they cheering and things like that. But it's like looking at them also give you a lot of clues, and also for me, DJing is an live A/B testing, because you're playing a track that you never play, and you have to see like the reactions, and I usually play tracks that are new in between hitters and see how people react, etc., etc. And so
take some risks.
Yeah. I mean, at the end, it's like you need to take risks as a DJ. You want part of the role is like obviously make people dance, and you have to give them part of what they want, but also you have to bring them new stuff and trying to educate them, and that's also part of your curation, as a DJ, not just playing what is the number one in Beatport or what is the top 10 in Beatport, right? So,
how do you maintain your energy throughout that whole set, like the 7 hours, for example? How do you keep going?
I mean, when you are enjoying what you do, like I can keep going for a long time. I usually don't drink when I play, so I can drink after I play.
Okay.
So when I play, I usually drink water, and sometimes I keep on the physical sense of keep going. I bring with me like a banana or like some dark chocolate cookies, things that I like.
Yeah.
Awesome. But in the emotional is more about the energy with the crowd and being enjoying the night, and
I love being there at the end of like an extended set, like listening to like the last hour that a DJ plays, but it takes so long. You have to stick around for a long time to hear them start busting out those records that like you didn't expect them to play.
No, totally. And one of the things for me is funny is like when you do a 6-7 hour set, you need to find a time to go to the bathroom.
Oh.
So that's an interesting, depending on the club and where the bathrooms are located, and if you in that moment are the only person in the DJ booth, etc. It can be tricky because 6-7 hours at some moment you have to pee.
Yeah, of course.
So someone takes over your spot?
Well, sometimes I put a long track.
Okay.
And I go right away. Sometimes if they have a DJ friend with me in the DJ booth, I say, hey, in case I'm not back in time, just play this.
Okay.
So
you gotta find like an 8 to 10 minute track.
So something like that.
That's great.
Have you ever had any like mishaps with like have you always been successful getting back to time?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Always.
Okay.
Always. And so one of the things I always, if I'm gonna do a long set, I mean, because for 2-3 hours it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But if it's gonna be a long set, I say, hey, where's the restaurant?
Yeah. So you started DJing at a very young age. I'm interested in knowing like what captured your interest.
What captured my interest? I started to DJ when I was in bars and clubs when I was 17. But my interest, it was captured when I was 13. And the first time that I went into a club. And in Spain, we have, when we finish middle school, we are between 13 to 14. And we have our first trip with our classroom and the teachers. So it's our first trip without parents, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So in that is usually it's a weekend. If you are in Madrid, you go to the coast of Spain, and you go to the first with the teachers and your classroom. You go to a club you know. And it was the first time, and at that time, the music was like acid house. I didn't know what it was, you know. It was like for me, Mayan. It was I never heard about electronic music, when I was there, it was like, oh, what the fuck? What is this?
Yeah.
And I was hypnotized by that music, by the role of the DJ. Who is that person is touching buttons and controlling this thing? So then I started to get more, trying to discover more about that, and yeah, it was like the power of the DJ and the music together, that combo. I was a shy person. When I was going to a club, I just enjoyed the music. I didn't go to pick up girls, things like that. So I always just been behind the DJ booth, looking at the DJ and trying to figure out. And then when I was 15, for my birthday, I asked my grandmother to buy me a mixer. Like a very simple mixer.
2 channels.
Yeah, 2 channels, and I don't
equalizers.
The first one not equalizer by channel, and then I have one deck, one turntable without pitch.
Okay.
And then I saved money and I bought a one turntable with pitch, but it was an Akiyama was the brand, and the pitch was a wheel.
Okay, interesting.
So I started trying to learn how to beat matching one song with another one, and I only can do in one direction.
Right.
My reference were cassette tapes. So at that time, there was the only way that you can listen to music of clubs is if you go to the club or you have cassette recordings from the clubs. And usually, if you know, your friends know a public relation guy from the club or the DJ, etc., you can get access to those cassettes. Because to be honest, between 13 and 16, I was not allowed to be in clubs officially. So there was a time that I went like maybe four times between that age to a club. In the meantime, I was listening to the music via the older brothers of my friends, that they got access to the cassettes and things like that. So that's how I got into the music, and then I was more interested. I learned how to beat match. I started to buy vinyls and then
what was your transition into music production?
Oh, that was like a much more recent. I always wanted to produce music, but I didn't put the time back in the day. You know, I studied music in the conservatory. I play piano, etc., but I didn't put the time to learn how to produce music. And 6 years ago, six years ago, I decided that was the time. Was the opportunity to invest time and money to learn. And I had a voice that was saying, Luis, what are you doing with your life? The music, you love music. Why you are not doing more music? Why not learn music production? I say, because, I've been a DJ for a long time. And when I was in my early 20s, I play a lot in Spain. I even had a radio show. But then my daytime career, I started to work in daytime. I decided to leave the music in a second layer of my life, but I continue being a DJ all this time, right? It's just that music production just six years ago, and I took a class with Garnish School. It is a producing school here in LA, and then also I took classes with different friends, and I watched tutorials. So I did everything I could, like group classes, individual classes, tutorials,
With all of your efforts in the 6 years, you've made it onto Beatport, right? Number one.
Yeah.
And tell us more about that.
Yeah, I've been lucky with music production because since my first productions, I signed up my first track in what's this label? Juicy Tracks, which is he's gonna kill me. I don't remember. Well, it will come. Okay. But my second track I signed with Transmit with Boris,
nice.
And then it started to give me motivation to like I signed in a very decent record label. And then I just continue putting time, and also I had different friends helping me with giving me feedback. My friend Oscar Groovebox, which is another producer from Spain that helped me with giving me feedback, because they were very experienced producers, So I had their help. And just putting hours in the studio, and one day I got number one release in Beatport with my EP on KD Row, my first EP in KD Row. And since then, just continue working. I'm very humble in music production because I still have a lot of things to learn. Right. And to be honest, I'm very pragmatic and not very purist about how to produce. I have friends who are, I do everything analogic. I don't do this. I use anything that helps me my creative flow to keep going. Sometimes I use samples. Obviously, I use MIDI too. Sometimes I do record voices. I'm not a purist, and for me, it's about keep the creative flow going. And I learn a bit how to do the mixing, but most of the times I take out my tracks to someone for mixing. For sure. But I do a decent mix for keep me going, and also to get to the point that when someone else do the mixing, it's not gonna change the creative vibe of the track.
Yeah, still have a little bit of say in the mixing of it. Okay, that's nice.
And that's. But it's been just putting a lot of time. I've released in many different labels, in Tronic, in Unreleased, in Analytic Trail, in Codex, and just putting a lot of time. I started creating more tech house, a bit of techno, and a bit of melodic house. And then the techno was the style that also was picked up by the labels. So I'd say, hey, I'm gonna put a focus on techno because I love all electronic music. I mean, techno is the one that gets the best out of me.
Right.
But I love house. I love melodic house. I love good tech house. But I need to focus. The same way that when I started to play as a DJ, I started to play a bit of all the different techno genres, a bit of melodic, a bit of raw, a bit of hypnotic. But right now, I'm more into raw techno, hypnotic, and I don't play melodic techno anymore. So,
of all those labels that you ended up getting signed to, how often do you know the label owner before you approach them?
Usually, most of the times I don't know the label owner. I just try to find an email to send the demos, and then sometimes some people come to you and say, hey, we like your music, we want you to release in our label and things like that. But so far, I don't know the people in the label. Right now, obviously, now I know the people in the labels, and the more labels you have released, it's easier to get contacts in other labels. You have other friends who are also producing and releasing in other labels, and they pass the email. I have people that write on me on Instagram, hey, bro, I'm trying to contact this person, and depending who it is, depending how they approach to me, etc., I can share the email or not. And also if I know that it's someone that they don't want their email to be shared, I don't share.
Okay, understandable. With all that history that you have, would you say you're still a DJ first, or would you say
Yeah, I'm a DJ first, and I love producing, and I enjoy it a lot, and it's amazing to see the reaction of when people play, dance your tracks, etc. But I a DJ first. I enjoy more DJing, and to be honest, what I want is to play more. And at the beginning, one of the reasons, not the only one, but one of the reasons to start producing is like because I wanted to play more. And I said, well, I need to demonstrate that I'm serious about this, and I need to learn how to produce. Obviously, I love and I wanted to produce, but that was another reason to DJ more.
Yeah.
It makes sense. With that being said, what advice do you have for up-and-coming DJs?
For up-and-coming DJs, I will say you need to first master the foundations. Because nowadays everyone jump into the CDJs, and people don't pay attention to the beat matching, things like that. And I will say learn how to DJ with vinyl, and then jump into CDJs. I think is a good technique, because also the CDJs are not perfect, and you have to correct the tracks by ear and things like that. And I think learning EQ, not being impatient about growing and about playing, and take any opportunity to as a learning. Even playing in the worst shithole can be a learning experience. I play in places in my life that they didn't have monitors, that they suddenly the needle broke, suddenly the knob in the fader didn't work, and I had to put a bottle of water, the plastic tap on the fader. Like everything is an opportunity that gives you experience, because until you reach out to the level of, I play in the best club with the best conditions, that's what makes you a better DJ. You have to react to the situation, whatever happens, right? I will say this is a marathon, not a sprint. And I think like probably everyone is guided by quick success in social media. People can be very famous very quickly. Not everyone, but people can be very famous. So I think like people have that sense that you can turn into playing awakenings overnight. And I think like a DJ is a career that you have to build. And it doesn't happen overnight. It's a lot of time, a lot of passion. Most of the times you're going to think about quick and drop the towel. But I don't know. You have to find your motivation that goes beyond being famous. I think.
And what does a really good gig look like to you?
A really good gig?
Yeah.
Where technically everything works. And obviously you have a good crowd that you connect with them. For me, a good gig, it should take me to be in the zone.
All right. Okay.
Because I play sometimes that, people think, it was great. Yeah, but for some reasons, I didn't get into the zone.
Okay, yeah.
And I enjoy it, but not to the level of being fucking lose the
forgetting
track
about
of
everything
time
else.
And you know why? Last time that happened to me is because one of the CDJ was not responding, and then the filter in the mixer was not working. Yeah. So there's a small things that just take you out of things, because for me, when you are in the zone is when everything reacts to what is expected, and you don't, your flow doesn't get interrupt. It's like you are immersed into that, and a small detail that doesn't work takes you out of that immersion.
Of course, on that note, when you go back to play in Madrid, do you feel like a special connection with the crowd because of your history with it?
Not really. I think like I've been in places that obviously if you go to a party, a more intimate party, and you have a lot of your friends and you have, you can feel that. But I think like any DJ can feel that connection everywhere around the world, because that's part of your your job. It's
Right.
like to create that connections and make people feel what you're feeling and transmit that, and they are transmitting you their joy, and so it's reciprocal.
Of course. Okay. Makes sense.
Yeah.
What are like some struggles you face as a producer then?
As a producer, is like finishing tracks. I mean, not finishing tracks. It's like decided when the track is finished.
Okay.
Like let it go. Like because obviously you can make changes or adding more things and things like that. And sometimes I have to be very pragmatic and think, hey, I don't know, maybe this is not gonna be the bomb, but I don't know. Let's release like it is, you know, because by experience, tracks that I thought that were gonna work really well, some of them were the favorite of the people, or the favorite of the charts, or the favorite of all the DJs, and tracks that I was not so much have emotional connection, and I think, well, this is good, but maybe not my best track. Then it ended being like the most liked by the people and other DJs.
Yeah.
So I think like let it go. Right now, I'm working on a track that I feel that it's missing something, but in the other hand, I listen to other tracks that are similar, and some of them have been successful. So part of me is saying, oh, I feel that it's almost there. Should I spend 10 hours trying to figure out, or should I just let it go? So that's one of the things. I think like time boxing and kind of like a project management skills has helped me a lot, because I think how you distribute the time while you're doing a track is, for me, it was a struggle at the beginning, because I was spending a lot of time just trying to find an idea or find a kick or creating a kick. And nowadays I'm more pragmatic. Like, if I want to do sound design, has to be like a very powerful reason for that. Otherwise, I have all the kicks that are good quality that I can use, I can change, etc., etc. So in the beginning, I was like very much like trying to be a purist and being, oh no, I have to design my kick, I have to. But then I experienced you don't need to do that. If you can release a really good track that sounds really well without that, and it's okay. You know, if you do it because you feel that you have to do it. You know, you have a reason. Struggles. Well, when you are not full-time DJ like me, like I have to manage time also with my daytime career. So finding time, I live with my partner, so also I have to balance, make a good living with my partner in terms of like a dedicated proper time with her, dedicating time with the music and dedicating time to me. Right. So my life is divided in me time, music time, and together time.
Yeah, of course.
So that's
and day job time.
And day job time.
True.
Okay.
Yeah.
On the note of being a purist, how did you feel about like when CDs first started, like being a thing?
To be honest, I see it as an evolution. Okay. I think like it's like everything, like a unit at the beginning. You say, "Oh, I don't know," but then it's like you need to adapt, to any technology. I remember the first time I saw the DJs. I said, "Oh, yeah, I'm gonna continue a bit with vinyl." And to be honest, I bought the final Scratch, which was the first kind of like what later was Serato and Tractor. And when you can have two blank vinyls and you upload the MP3s.
Okay.
So I play with that as a kind of like a transition to fully digital, you know. And so I saw it at the beginning, like I don't know, but then I embrace CDJs and I say whatever. Like obviously I love playing with vinyl, but it's a lot of times it's not practical. In terms of traveling with vinyls, in terms of asking for a technician to a club. Yeah, so a clubs can put a vinyl if Chris Living requests a vinyl, you know, but I'm not at that level. So it's not, probably people are not gonna bring a vinyl,
Yeah.
a turntable. Sorry.
Yeah, you'd maybe have to get there early, make sure it works correctly, and that's a huge headache too.
I mean, I appreciate people who play with vinyl because it's an art to play. It's I don't know, it's more old school. You know that you are not driven by, I have a screen with the BPM. I mean, I don't care about if people look at the BPMs or do sync or whatever. If you do sync and you are super creative and you do a great set, whatever, do whatever you want to, I'm not like a hardcore against people using sync, etc. It's about you, your image, your reputation. I seen people using sync and playing with 4 vinyls, 4 decks at the same time and doing very creative stuff. For me, that makes more sense because you are using sync for a reason, because your creativity is not in the beat matching, it's in like in layering different tracks and things like that. So, yeah.
And when you see someone play a vinyl set, it means they really love the music because they paid like $25 each record. So.
Yeah, it's true. But that's what happened back in the day. I mean, when I started to buy vinyls, it was like a 900 pesetas, which is kind of like a less than, I think like a less than 6 euros. And then probably 10 euros a vinyl, things like that. And I don't know how much is right now a vinyl, but I have in my house probably 5,000 vinyls since mid-90s until I think I stopped buying vinyls in maybe 2005 or 2004.
When you'd move to a different country, what would you do with your records?
My records are all in Spain.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I didn't bring any records. I brought cassette tapes I have different cassette tapes from the Omen, which is a famous club in Madrid. I guess they took the name from Germany.
Oh, okay.
Omen. Oscar Mulero was playing there. So I have different cassette tapes from Oscar Mulero in 1994, 1995. And sometimes I use this just to stimulate my brain and see what are the sounds at that time. And I usually pick a lot of influence in my tracks from all the music that has passed through my career, and I think that's normal. Some people don't make it visual in their tracks. I usually make it visual. Maybe I took a sample or I took a voice or things like that.
What is the importance of bringing back old school tunes?
I mean, for me, it's a way to express who I am. The music that I've been drinking from, and it's part of your palette of music that is in your head.
Yeah, I know you're a fan of Primate, the old school techno label, which like released music from producers like Redhead, Wepa, Vince Watson. Have you been following like the recent revival of that early 2000s sound that labels have been doing?
Yeah, I think right now hardgroove is kind of like the new trend into when we speak about techno, and I think Ben Sims has been always a reference for me, and it's great to see that the music is back. And I think, and I'm gonna quote Stephen Desario that the other day I was reading a comment from him, said, what I hope is like the hard groove doesn't become the new hard tech house, But I love that vibe, and I think like if we can mix it with other styles, and I don't like to play only one genre in my sets. I can play like a raw, hypnotic, some tribal, some more driving techno. Depend on how I see it, but hard groove definitely is one of the styles that is popping up, and I don't know. I think it's because the speed has increased BPM, and I think like there's a contrast between if you are speeding up. I think hard groove still have soul. It's very, the vocals are more bright. It's not very dark. So it's kind of like if you are, it's more groovy. So at least it's fast, but it's groovy.
And you can like keep partying to it. You don't have to wait for a drop. Like it's not really like waiting for these huge build-ups and stuff.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
Yeah, that's how I like it. My music.
Yeah.
Hard groove is probably my favorite.
Yeah, hardgroove. I mean, I really like it. I really
Yeah.
like it. But it's interesting that you can see, for example, David Moleon was a very famous hardgroove producer, 2010, 2012, etc. And now he's back because the hardgroove is back.
Yeah.
It's the same with the label hardgroove from Ben Sims. Like it's back right now because it's super trendy. So it's great.
I love that you cite Christian Varela as one of your influences. What are some things that you admire about him?
His technical skills first. Like that's how I grew up. Like I listened to a lot of cassette. Well, I saw him many times live, but before seeing him live, listening to cassette tapes from him and his skills mixing 3-4 vinyls at the same time. And he has a very at least at that time aggressive way of mixing.
Oh, right.
That I like. I also like that. Obviously, I can mix and be very subtle and do a transition, etc. But sometimes I like that people notice the mixing,
right?
You know, and play with the channels and play with the cue and things like that. And he was one of the first DJs that I saw being very playful, mixing and think crazy stuff. And I think he's a great DJ.
Yeah, I love the stuff that he's done, like with Marco Bailey.
Oh yeah. He. I mean, I think in the early 2000s, he was doing a lot of stuff with Marco Bailey, and they produced great tracks together. And he brought Marco Bailey to Spain several times.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah,
awesome. Love that.
Yeah, I love Marco Baelli. It's another great DJ and producer, and now he's getting back. Materia is trendy again, and he's releasing good stuff. And I haven't seen him playing much, but the label Materia is getting good music as well.
I got to meet him this summer, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was at a club in Berlin, and he was playing one of the rooms. And then I had a friend just introduce me, and I was like, "Hey, I've loved your music for a long time, and it's great to finally meet you."
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, he's a really nice guy.
Nice. Love it. Like I would love to meet him. Yeah, I met Christian. I think right before the pandemic in person. Like because I saw him so many times. In fact, I play as a resident DJ in a club where he was resident DJ in Spain.
Okay.
So he was resident DJ in 1994. I was resident DJ in 99 in that club.
Awesome.
So I'm a fan, to be honest. I'm trying to. That's because I was talking to Omar. Like you should bring Christian Varela. We have been talking to his management.
Awesome.
To bring him to LA because I haven't seen Christian Varela in LA, to be honest.
Yeah, I would love that.
Yeah, that would be great. Like we initially we talked with his manager about bringing him to do like a vinyl set.
Okay.
With like a 4 techniques, etc. But it's not easy to travel with all the vinyls for a long time and long distance flight and things like that. So we'll see.
Yeah. I saw actually, I met Oscar Miloro over the summer too. We were on the same plane, and he was carrying like one Creative Records with him. And I was like, man, that must be a drag to have to just take that everywhere with you. And that's only one, like.
I guess that probably he doesn't want to put to check out because there was a lot of people that they suffer robbery at the airport when they check out the DJ bags.
So carry it.
So.
Because you know what it is just by looking at it.
Exactly. So, but Oscar Mulero is amazing. I love his music and I love his productions, but I love him more as a DJ, and I follow him since. Well, the second club that I went in my life was New World in Madrid, and he was the resident DJ. And he was playing a lot of EBM.
Oh, okay.
Like a techno pop, and that first probably it was 1993, 1994.
Interesting. Didn't know that about him.
Yeah. I can send you some links with DJ sets from that time that you can find in in YouTube.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
very
Yeah.
That sounds cool.
Do you happen to have an agent that you work with, or are you independent?
No, I'm independent
Oh,
so
okay.
far. Yeah.
Okay. And like, how do you cope with traveling and jet lag and?
Well, jet lag very bad. Jet lag very bad. But traveling good. I try to keep up with my routines and being healthy. And one of the things that I request when I travel is the hotel to have a gym.
Oh, okay.
So to at least I can work out, or I usually go for a run. For me, I love running, and when I go to a new city, for me it's a nice way to discover part of the city.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Running the city, and the worst part is eating.
Oh, really?
Eating.
Yes, because when you are like a DJing, like the schedules and the airports and the hotels and things like that. It's not prepared for the life. So it's difficult to find more healthy. I mean, it's not difficult, but it's more, you have to put more
energy,
effort to find healthy food. And at the end, you look for more convenience and comfort because you are tired of playing or you are getting ready to play and things like that.
So it's true that you practice ninjutsu?
Yeah.
Okay, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, before ninjutsu, I was a second dan black belt in judo, and it's something that I practiced since I was a kid. And then when I turned almost 20, in the same gym that I was practicing judo, they started to practice ninjutsu. So I tried to start ninjutsu when I was 14 because I already love martial arts and I love the ninja stuff and things like that, right? But I went to an exhibition, and in that exhibition, the guy who was doing things, he was using like a kama. A kama is kind of like a stick with a knife here, like a circular knife, one here, and they're tied by a chain. So he was doing things like that. And the guy was a black belt. He scratched his leg with it. Barely, but he did, right? He break the kimono and things like that. So my parents say, no way you're going to do this, you know? So I had to be above 18 when I started to practice that. And it's a great martial art, to be honest. And what I like is it helps you to see martial arts as a martial art, not as a sport. Because judo is a martial art, but it's a sport. Like all the techniques from judo has become techniques that you can practice in a competition. The old judo is much more rough, you know? So a martial art applies all the skill to your life in any situation. So you have to practice in different moods because the way that you react in a real life situation is going to depend on maybe you have a bad day, maybe you are chill that day, maybe you have your wife and your kid with you. So you have to first have a lot of awareness about yourself and then awareness about the surroundings. At the end, ninjutsu means the art of survival, kind of. So because it's a martial art, it's endless. The possibilities, and you have to learn how to practice your techniques when you are in here or when you are in the tatami or when you are in the beach, because you are going to move differently, etc., etc. So I like the emotional point of self-awareness and awareness of the surroundings versus a sport that you can enjoy the sport, but at the end is made for competition, not just for
it's like
life.
Self-improvement.
Yeah.
How does this affect your music? Do you think it has a correlation?
I don't know. Like I don't know if that martial arts has a correlation. I think like me being a Libra, I see myself more balanced person, and I don't go to the extreme in any sides. So I'm always in the middle, and my music is a way to bring to life my extreme emotions. So I think in that sense, it's more connected with my horoscope
Okay.
than with my martial arts. Yeah.
Okay, your music.
Yeah,
okay.
my music. Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
Thanks.
What are some things that you would like to see change in the music scene today?
I think more diversity, and I think like everyone is talking about seeing more women, more diversity, and more of anyone, like whatever label you want, you are queer or whatever, you're trans, whatever. I think we should look at more diversity in all sense. I think like more I don't know, less hate.
Okay. that's a
But
good
you
one.
know, we are humans. That's not gonna change. I think more opportunities because I think like and this is not a complaint. I'm very grateful and happy where I am, but more opportunities for people in the middle.
Okay.
Because they're always talking about opportunities for newcomers and people who is starting. But I think the people in the middle also needs opportunities to move to the next level. And I would say that support in all the levels, more support in all the levels of the journey, you know. But yeah, more diversity, more opportunity, more. I think more women in techno, especially. I think like we need more women energy. I was listening to an interview with Chris Levin in Will Clerk podcast.
I saw you post that one. I listened to that. Nice recommendation.
Yeah. And he was saying, I think like we don't have to lose the female energy in. I mean, it's not that it's not great to play for a lot of guys. It's great, but I think we need also female energy, you know. And I think like it makes the whole thing more beautiful and more energetically beautiful, you know. And yeah, I don't know. That's something that I would love, you know. And also more consideration of techno and less prejudge. You know, because it looks like not right now, but always, electronic music always has that idea of people, they take drugs, etc. Yes, obviously, people take drugs. It's not I don't think it's a genre thing. It's it's a stage of life thing. Like if you are down, you are in that stage. I have friends who are super into rock and they take drugs. Like it's not but obviously you go to a clubs is a way to escape and to enjoy and release yourself. I think like techno is kind of the black sheep of electronic music, and people have like a more judging into techno people. And I think like the scene has demonstrated professionalism, has demonstrated that they can organize parties in a great way that promote diversity, promote unity, promote good vibes. And you know, like it's not about drugs. Drugs is gonna be everywhere, not just in techno or in electronic music. So I will love to see less negative stereotypes about our industry and about also techno.
Yeah. No, those are all like really solid. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with all that.
What kinds of music do you listen to other than electronic?
Well, I listen a lot of flamenco.
Okay.
I like a lot of Spanish music. I like a bit of everything. I like also African music, pop, hip hop. But if I have to choose one, I will say flamenco and a bit of reggaeton as well, like for fun. And
Did you ever get to see Paco de Lucia perform?
No, not live, not live. But I love Paco de Lucia. It's great. In Spain has a amazing musicians. Obviously, any country, but in terms of guitar, amazing players. Amazing players.
Interesting. I have a question.
Yeah.
What does success mean to you?
Success. Freedom, that for me is success in life. Having freedom to do what I want, with who I wanted, when I wanted. I mean, I can be this is more conceptual, but in terms of things in life. Obviously, I play more success playing in the places I want as a DJ. Have my people and enjoy my people, my family. That's part of the success. But in general, my end goal in life for me is keep the freedom. In all areas of life, freedom to be with your people, freedom to travel, freedom financially, and basically do whatever you want and choose.
And like, what would you say were some huge turning points in your career that kind of helped you get some more success?
I think like music production.
Okay.
When I started music production, it was a turning point. I think when I started to take more social media a bit more seriously.
Okay, fair.
I think nowadays, obviously the first thing is music, but I think like you need to play the game, and you need to. I think a smart artist needs to adapt and know how to play the game in all senses. So being a DJ, do networking, do your social media, and take care of yourself mentally and physically. And so those things. And I think like probably like a year ago, I started to take social media more seriously, because I was the type of person to say, yeah, I have to do it because I have to do it. But now I find a way to also enjoy it.
Okay.
Nice. and for example, the series that I'm doing every week, I enjoy a lot sharing my music. So I say, okay, so it's just find a way that you enjoy creating content on social media. I think is an exercise that I recommend to everyone. It's like obviously everyone we are busy, and sometimes it's fucking like I think like Tranke was saying the other day, like I mean, it's not the best thing just to be worried about, hey, I have to post this and this and this. I prefer to dedicate that time to my music, but if you can find a way that is more organic to you and you enjoy it, that's has a good impact, because it changed me the way to look at social media as a pain point, to turn it into something that I enjoy, and people looks like enjoy it too. So I'm giving to my fans some value in return.
Yeah. No, of course, I love the weekly videos that you do, Mixtape Memories, because I also talk about music, but I didn't really live through all the music that I talk about, and so that's like a unique angle that you have, is you can give more of the history and talk about like you were probably there when a lot of those tracks came out. So I don't see anyone else doing that. It's just it's great to see it.
Thank you. I enjoy it. And I started to, because I would love to post more often about that, but also I'm very careful about, I'm super busy also with my daytime career and with studio time and things like that. So I've been controlling myself to not post more often about that. But I mean, because to be honest, it's another way. It's another way of being a DJ. You are showing music to people, right? You are not playing it for them in the club, but you. Part of being a DJ is to make people discover tracks that they maybe don't know, right?
Right. Yeah.
So
love it.
That's amazing. Are there any projects you're working on and you want to share?
I'm working on a bunch of new music. That's basically right now I have 5 tracks that I'm ready to start pitching. I'm gonna release another track on Edge Society, which is Carlo Leo's label. But so far I accumulate a lot of music, and I'm gonna start pitching to different labels. But I don't like to send my music to multiple people at the same time.
Okay.
Because I think like you need to go one by one, and I at the beginning of being a producer, I usually send music to 5-6 level at the same time and see who pick it up. And no, I'm very intentional and I'm sending music to Chris Levin, for example,
Uh-huh.
maybe he will not listen.
Yeah.
But then if he don't listen, I will send it to someone else
Yeah.
that I like, not sending random to like a mail list.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm working right now on different music, but I'm not having different new project. Like I want to learn more about modular, but I need to try to find a way to do it.
Yeah.
You know, the other day I connect with Trovarsi the other day and say, hey, we should do something together. I would love to, but I think I need to learn a bit more. So those things keep me excited, but I need to dosify my time.
Yeah.
Hopefully one day I can dedicate more time to the music and even become full-time career. But so far it's like, I have a daytime job. So
Awesome.
Okay. Are we good?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we're up on time, but
Thank you
thanks
for
so
being
much
here.
for being here and like
Yeah.
sharing like your history and knowledge and experiences and everything.
of course, it's a pleasure, guys. I
Yeah.
really enjoy our conversation.
Yeah. Thank you for all the knowledge that you have and are sharing, and all the advice you gave was very important.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
Thank
we
you.
look forward to seeing you on the dance floor.
Yes.
Yes. October 14th. I'm gonna
Okay.
play in Catch One. Is the
Okay,
Catch
cool.
One. Yeah. It's gonna be fun.
Awesome.
Nice. And
I'll
then
be there.
for our Spanish listeners, you're also playing.
In Madrid, I'm playing in
Okay.
Madrid in Fabric in October 28th.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
nice.
Amazing.
that's gonna be super, super dope.
Maybe I'll
Yeah,
book a
it's-
ticket.
Yeah. Do it.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you
Thanks
again.
again.
Yeah, absolutely. Pleasure.